The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're planning on buying or selling a home, the real estate crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome and thanks.
What was that look, Tony?
I decided today I'm going to be the unit broker.
I was trying to get you to do our logo. Our logo.
I put my hood up, so now I'm the unit broker.
You were like,
I'm the unit broker now.
okay.
So please refer to me for the rest of the show as the unit broker.
Let's see what our unit broker has to say about this.
Who cares?
Well, the good thing about today is we don't have anyone to introduce,
That's
so
right.
Tony can't
That's
yell
right.
at us.
Should we even introduce the show? We didn't get that far.
Why don't you do that?
That is a first.
Well, we have an introduction.
He made
We
a
do.
funny face.
I made a face, sure.
Well, you gotta stay. You gotta be.
No,
stay
and-
focused a
welcome
little
to
bit.
the Real Estate House
House
Party
Party,
with
yeah.
attorney
And-
Rick Carter,
Yes.
And
paralegal extraordinaire Kathy Holtshouser.
We just went
and
over
the
this.
u-
And
and the
unit bro-
Unabomber.
And the unit broker.
Oh, unit broker.
I don't want to give the
AKA
unibomber any good
famous
vibes.
comedian.
Yeah. So
All
I'm
right.
the unit broker.
I'm gonna go way off course. Remember our producer, Mr. Ed Sullivan, the first
do
time
I remember him?
the first time he ever
He's
laid eyes
sitting
on.
right there.
I know, but when the first time we had him, he didn't laugh at one thing we said.
Right.
Now he's
He just-
dancing to our jingle.
He had his fingers on the keyboard.
You gotta
and
come
never,
over to
He never looked
Yeah.
up, and now he can barely
Wow.
contain himself.
He's always the fifth member of the show.
He's a professional.
You guys grew on me.
Yeah. You're like George Martin. You're like George
I
Martin.
can tell he's
Good-
like, I'm not gonna
Right?
like them.
Am I right on
call.
that?
Yes, good
Yes.
call.
I'm not going to like them. I know they're not funny at all. I'm not going to like them.
Why do you
And
think
look at
he's
it.
changed his mind?
I don't think anyone on the other shows watches this, so I'm going to say this is my favorite.
Yeah,
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. And I heard you're producing for everyone out there now
Everyone.
for podcasts.
Jimmy Dunn and I have the two Boston Guys podcast.
I know.
And, we basically, put it down on tin cans and string.
Right.
I've
on
done a couple of
wax.
those shows,
Yeah.
literally out back of Giggles,
Yeah.
near the dumpster.
Yeah, now we're out in Jimmy's back porch in Hampton, which is a step up for us.
It actually
But then
is a
we
step.
send them to Ed, and he cleans them up, and they
No
sound
way.
fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
awesome,
Yep.
Ed.
They sound professional.
They sound like we know what we're doing, actually.
Did you clean up the one on the bus? That would be a miracle.
that would be a
The
miracle.
bus is way better than it was.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
The thing is, I started listening to their podcast, and it freaked me out because Jimmy's in one speaker and Tony's in the other speaker.
Yeah, that's how we do it. That's how we do
and
it.
some in a
And plus, I gotta have to mention this, right? We finally achieved, what we've been after our whole time. No one
is?
will come on this show. We have been subtly pushing people away.
Well, that's what we.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
and no
think
one
it's
in
good.
our studio audience.
Right.
Today.
It has finally happened. It's just the three of us
It's okay.
and a producer talking into the ether.
Just
yeah,
talking among friends
that's
today.
all we're
Listen,
doing.
we
I'm
got
just here because
cookies.
I'm getting paid. I mean, let's be honest.
Us, not so much. But
Yeah, me neither. I don't.
we got cookies today.
We got
I
cookies,
feel
that's
like
how we got
And I am
royalty
enjoying a freshly brewed cup of coffee.
of Joe.
And you had a cigar. So you're all right.
Yeah, of course. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
So
The
we-
Red Sox are on tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't get too yucky.
No, it's going to be fine.
Okay.
It's going to be fine. And who's that going to affect more? The wusses from L.A. I'm
I guess
guessing.
you're right, yeah.
Yeah, the dainty people. The manicures will get all
Not
up.
the Bostonians.
Not us rough and hardy.
Luckily, we don't get any
Bostonians.
closings from California because that'd be
Right.
another group we just took down.
Oh, the hell with them.
I know.
Did you get your Powerball ticket yet?
Of course I did.
Up to 1.6 billion.
1.6
Can
billion.
I have some of yours?
Sure, of
All right,
course.
just a little tiny bit.
Of course. I'll give you whatever you want.
All right.
Now, you'd still work if you won.
Yeah, but in a different way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You'd
What would
still
you be doing?
You'd still be doing
I
our
would have
podcast.
I would still do this podcast.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Tony.
But you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't subject yourself to 40 minutes of standing.
No, but I
No,
please.
No,
I'd
twice
have
a
a
week.
foundation that I would run to give that away.
Okay.
You know what my one thing is? If I ever became a billionaire,
Yeah.
you know how everyone goes, I'd buy a yacht or I'd buy I'd
Oh,
travel.
I know what you're
I'd do-"
buying, but go ahead.
No. This was my one way over the top thing. I would have a sidekick named Eduardo.
Okay.
And whenever I just went, Eduardo, he'd hand me a lit cigar. No matter where I was.
That's
that
not
too much,
going to
Ed?
cost that much
No
money.
matter where I was.
How much does this gig pay?
Oh, it's going to pay handsomely. You have to be on call.
I'm halfway there.
And, right. And you have to go by Eduardo. That's all I know.
That's fine.
Kathy would apply for that job.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
a
She
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
If she won the 1.6 billion, I have a feeling she'd quit Cottle office and be Eduardo to you.
Fine.
That's fine.
how'd that
Eduardo.
work?
Eduardo.
Edwina, or whatever.
Yeah, we'll
Anita.
figure it out.
I heard.
Anita.
I heard on the radio this morning that someone had won the lottery a while ago, and she worked at a hospital in the Worcester area, and she texted her boss when she's supposed to be at a meeting and
Yeah.
said, "I wanted you to know that I am no longer employed by your company. Watch the 1 o'clock news."
Do you
And I
ever
was thinking that was a little harsh for her.
do you ever read the stats on how well those people do though after winning
No, they
X amount of dollars?
don't.
Oh,
They
it's pitiful.
die
Yeah.
or they get broke again.
Right,
their house
right.
gets
Well,
foreclosed on.
they get scammed
They get
on.
scammed.
Yeah, and what they were saying this morning was now your family members, when you win that kind of money,
Yeah.
billion,
Sure.
You have to watch your family members because they
Kidnapping?
might kidnap them and then hold out for the ransom money.
Yeah, that wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm not sure which one would upset me.
which member, right?
Yeah. I mean, they weren't worth it when I didn't have it. Why? What makes them worth it now? Well, I don't get that logic whatsoever.
I would show up for work the next day.
Yeah, to drop off your
pick
your
up-
laptop.
I wouldn't dropping off my laptop. I'd be picking up my personal effects.
No, everyone's got their wish list of, things they would do.
I'd still work.
No,
A
you
little
You
bit.
wouldn't.
A little bit. They're not going to let
You
us
barely
go.
work now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She has had no sleep, and I was trying to let it go. 7 minutes into the show, but she's had no sleep, and she's been a little bit
A little
edgy.
cranky, little cranky.
Little
cranky.
cranky.
Yeah.
Why no sleeping?
I had
Let's
to
get
pick
the
my
bottom of
mother up at the airport.
Oh, what time?
Well, she landed at like 12:30.
Wait, your mother lives in Charlestown.
I know, but
which is about a $4 Uber ride.
I know, but I had. It's a long story, but
I
I had
would've got
the keys to her house.
Could have walked over to Logan and
Yeah,
walked her back.
sure.
Right.
Like her building only gives out one set of keys with one garage fob and one fob to get into the building.
Right.
So at
Please
12:30,
stop saying fob.
fob.
It's
It's a weird thing. What does that stand for?
I have
FOB.
no idea,
Fob.
but it's annoying.
Well, it's the
It's
little
an
thing.
annoying
It's the
word.
little black thing that hangs off your keys
Yeah,
that opens the door.
Opens the door.
But like
garage door opener.
But the
it's a fob? F-O-B?
yeah,
Eh.
it's a fob, right? Do you guys
I
you know
don't
what a
know.
fob is, right? Anyway, the desk clerk goes home at midnight, so she wouldn't have been able to get into
Oh,
her
I see.
building.
All
So.
right.
But plus, I didn't want her to come home alone.
No,
She's
you're a good
76
daughter.
years old.
Oh,
and,
that's
yeah,
not old.
I can miss
That's not old, by
I
the way.
can miss a night's sleep, I
No,
guess.
you can't.
No, you can't.
For my
No, you
mother.
can't.
Not if you're going to be this cranky. No. No, you can't.
Until our next trip.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
All right, well, are we going to talk about any
I'm
real
not
estate?
sure if we
Why-
can go from
why?
this to real estate talk.
I'd buy a ton of real estate if I won $1.6 billion.
Yeah, you'd buy a yurt?
I'd buy many yurts.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
would
could
do? I'd buy a town.
I was just going to say, like a
Yeah.
colony of
Yeah,
yurts.
yeah, and then I'd be
You'd
like,
buy a town in Aruba.
yeah, and then I'd be like
right.
the overlord.
Yes.
I'd be like Boss Hogg on the Dukes of Hazzard. Well, it was just about then. The old Duke boys didn't realize, but old Boss Hogg had a little trick of his own up his sleeve. It seemed at one end of town there was a truck full of tar coming, and damned if there wasn't some feathers at the other end. Well, they met in the middle, and that's what I would do. I'd put loudspeakers up all
You
over
have
my...
many talents,
Yeah,
Tony V.
I would put up loudspeakers all over my town, and periodically I would just do voiceovers like the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Is there any reason?
Well, it was just about then Arubans didn't realize there was a new boss in town.
With a colony of yurts.
I don't know why we can't get any guests on this show.
I don't understand either. Apparently, they don't want to up their knowledge about real estate.
I
boy.
just don't know. I
Well,
don't know.
you know what? I am going to segue, and I know that there's going to be a million jokes thrown
no,
in,
go
but
ahead.
No. I'll let you go. Go ahead.
Rick Carter,
Yes.
right? As cranky as I am today,
Right.
is probably like, if I was selling my house and he wasn't my boss,
Yeah.
I would hire him in a
Wow.
heartbeat.
Oh, we've said that a
You're
million
coming
times.
around nicely.
No, but what I see, the things that he does for our
nice.
clients, and sometimes a deal falls through,
Yeah.
and on a buyer end, and their deposit is in jeopardy, which means they plunk down $35,000
Right.
and it's sitting in an account, and they somehow want to get out of the deal, but not for reasons in the contract.
I see. And so that money's in jeopardy.
That money's in jeopardy, and the seller has the right to keep that money.
Sure, because
So-
that's the deal you went into.
So this is the thing.
Right.
Rick gets that money back for them.
Yeah.
He goes
We
through.
have pulled some magic this year.
We call them magic tricks
Right.
because they're just smart
Sure.
maneuvers that just
the
a
mafia
smart.
used to call it blackmail.
It's
you
just
call it
smart.
whatever you want.
It's just crafty.
you want to get technical.
Right.
crafty, creative thinking to get the money back. But you know what the real kicker is? We never get paid for that work
Because, yeah.
Oh, I see.
because the deal fell through,
Yeah,
and
but
we
you
don't.
want to get a little off the
Well,
top. Don't
that's
you
what I
think?
say. But
Yeah.
so the deal fell through, and
Rick's a
we
good
don't get
guy.
paid until the closing happens.
You were impressed on your relative's deal.
Yeah.
Not that we saved you a lot of money, but you
But
were
you
impressed
did- you
down
were-
to
you-
the last $40
Yeah,
I was fighting
you
for.
found $40 somewhere that somebody owed, and you weren't going to let somebody walk out the door.
Hey.
With my children's $40 split up 3 ways, which was $13.33.
But no, listen. But
No.
you interrupted my story.
No, we
my
appreciate you coming around.
soliloquy.
You-
Okay.
You can
And do we got any violin music over there?
you can run. You should run on less sleep more
Let me
often. You're
find
really
some.
coming around.
No, but
I wasn't expecting
my other
this at all.
point is
Yep.
the buyer has no idea
What you go
what
through.
Rick did
Yeah.
to save their $35,000 because they didn't truly believe
Sure.
that their $35,000 was in jeopardy.
Sure.
They can't understand
Yeah.
the legal language, and they just assumed that. And when Rick hands the money back to them, they just assumed that it was.
Thank you, Ed.
Whose
You're
whose
good.
friend are you, Ed?
This is called sad, mellow music.
No, but I'm just saying, like.
No, that's very nice. I didn't
it's
expect this
really
at all.
nice, sure.
Because that wasn't a theme. When
But
we were
my
pulling-
point is, people think, oh, I don't really need an attorney, but every month that goes by in our industry, we have
Gets
five
worse and worse.
5 or 10 more examples
Sure.
why you can't not have an attorney. There's
course.
so much going on.
Sure,
So
you roofie someone, throw them in a brothel,
Yeah.
they're going to give up the money.
right.
Luckily, Senator, this is a brothel that was owned by the family. The woman had no ties. She was an orphan. We can make this all go away. You go home and get a good night's sleep.
You ever see an Animal House where they had the devil on one side
Oh,
and the
Rick,
little
we
angel,
can't talk about
and the
that.
angel on the
See?
other
Yeah,
side?
yeah,
This
yeah.
is what I feel like
Yeah,
here.
that's a good point. And
Am I the angel?
You're
Yeah.
the angel today, which
Yeah.
I did not
You
guess
didn't
that
force-
one.
you
I'll
didn't
tell you that
foresee
right
that,
now.
no.
There was actually death threats coming in here, and
Oh, no, Rick actually said
no,
to me,
that's
Look.
for another
No,
time.
no,
we
no.
don't want to
Rick-
know tape, but
Tony-
We know that Carter Law does what they say they're going to do and more.
except,
Do you know
for
what,
the, except for
Tony-
the thing that I said I was going to kill
Tony,
her. But,
Tony said, Rick said to me about, let's see, about a little over an hour ago.
Yeah.
He says, "I think I'm going to kill you." I'm like,
I didn't mince any
Wow.
words today.
Wow, that was right to
and
the
then he
point.
said, "Are you going to be late for the podcast?" And I said, "No, I'm never late." He goes, "You're always late." I
Yeah.
go, "Well, if I'm late, I'm just busy catching up on
Sure.
Facebook and finishing up my M&Ms."
No, that-
okay?
Wow. At least there's a good excuse.
Off with you.
I think I'm going to kill you. There could be
he
different
said-
ways of
No.
interpreting that.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah.
That was the first time I heard just a little tinge of malice.
Yeah.
Like,
Always even-tempered Rick Carter.
No, that was the first time today you heard
Yeah.
it. So.
no.
Never gets flustered.
No, he's actually
We are
never
in-
really said those
We are
words.
into the 15th minute now,
And
no real
I've
estate.
had my life. I've had my life.
Right.
For good reason. Everyone in this place said you should be taken out back.
Yeah.
All right?
So
Am I right, Ed Sullivan?
Well, I'm back on the fob.
Did you look it up?
Yeah, apparently it harkens back to the watch fobs for pocket watches. The fob was a decorative element, but I don't
I don't know where that comes
Wow.
from.
Well, it's just
Any-
a sort of hanging thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know if the opener is decorative in any meaningful way.
No,
Maybe-
it's not.
No, it's
What
just
if there's a Mercedes logo on it? Decorative?
Yeah.
decorative? Yeah.
All right.
Sure. All right.
How many people have turned into our podcast today and said, we're hearing Mr. Hee-Haw over here
Yeah.
and
That was
learning
good.
and learning about fobs. Into the
hasn't-
16th minute.
Hasn't anybody ever heard of a fob?
I hear it all the time from you.
I've never heard it called that.
Oh, I mean,
I've heard the term.
I actually hope I didn't make that up.
I have heard the.
Because that's never been done on the show.
No. I've heard the term key fob before, a couple of times, but I didn't know what it was.
Oh,
That's all I'm saying.
It's this thing.
It's
yeah.
that thing. All right.
The fob.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds like it.
I'm going to do some more research.
All right.
The amount of money people paid to watch this podcast and they're saying this is what
Well,
we're getting
They
out
just
of it.
learned fob. What
They
did they
learned
know?
fob.
Did they know that beforehand? No.
No.
So I'm a seller, and I'm going to sell my house
I have-
on my own.
Okay.
Don't you put, see?
Cheek. Talk to the hand.
Talk to the
Talk to the hand.
I got 25 tips. Or
Yeah,
we
so
have
if
25
I was a
tips.
seller, should I sell my house on my own?
Of course not.
No.
Okay, let's
That's
go.
number one.
Don't do it.
Keep an eye on.
What do you do as a seller's attorney?
Well, you got to keep an eye on your disclosures. Here's a Halloween question for you. This is in Massachusetts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are you required to disclose in Massachusetts? Are you required to disclose in Massachusetts that you think your house is haunted?
I'm going to say yes.
That's kind of a strange term, haunted.
Okay.
Do you truly believe houses
It's a
are...
yes or no question, Miss.
this-
I haven't slept in a while.
No.
Do you
It
think
could be
Ma-
haunted by
No,
the,
I say no.
Okay. It is no, unless asked.
Okay, sir.
Then you do
sir,
have to disclose it.
Right.
If you're asked it.
You don't have to volunteer that information.
Correct.
Now,
Correct.
if someone's murdered in your house, and
You have to disclose.
you don't
that.
have to disclose it unless they ask, right?
Unless they ask.
Right. So you can
Top
say,
2 questions when you're buying a house from now on.
has someone been murdered?
And is it
is
haunted?
There you go.
It's haunted by the memories of old relationships.
Or bad relationships?
Well, it was just about then. The old Duke boys didn't realize. But the house was haunted by the ghost of the General Lee.
Now you've had too much sleep because you're rearing to go.
I'm ready.
Or
right.
too much coffee. Or number 2.
All right. Well, you think we're gonna? What's the over and under on the 25? Before we're into 18 minutes. We have about 12 minutes left.
I
We're
say we
good.
get through it.
You
Let's go.
think we're gonna get through it?
Yeah, I love it. I love a
Stop
challenge.
distracting me.
That's why I show up for work every day. Let's do it.
All right. So you got to keep an eye on your disclosures, right?
Yeah.
So let me just
This is why we're not going to get it. I
Right.
got the under.
when you say keep an eye on your disclosures, because you don't want to offer up stuff that hasn't been asked. You don't want to offer up
No,
things.
sometimes you have to. If you
No,
have,
I know.
If you have something that could a person would not purchase your property, you have some information on that. We probably shouldn't get to that because every state's a little different on that. But if you know, but all right, let's go back to another
Has
one.
there been water in the basement? Yes, you have to say yes or no.
See, there's another
because
thing.
that's on a
Yeah,
questionnaire.
there's different
There's
ways
a-
to get
there's a
into that.
questionnaire.
Yeah, you could say.
Oh, here we go, Mr.
you
Ying
have-
over here.
You have the ability to grow mushrooms in the basement.
It's
now
a little,
you've turned it into
it's
a positive.
little.
Yeah, you turn it into a positive. Have you ever thought about becoming a mushroom farmer?
This is the house
This
for you.
is the house for you.
Or you could maybe grow grass.
Or
right?
grass?
Yeah.
Sure, sure. How do you feel about turtles in the basement?
Or fish even.
Have I got a house
Yeah.
for you?
How about, have you ever thought about living above a koi pond? See, you
right.
got to make it
Yeah,
positive.
yeah.
Forget it,
Right.
guys.
You gotta get.
Yeah, never mind the disclosures. Talk to your real estate agent on that one. Number 2.
Say whatever you want.
We're
all
never
right?
going to get a guest again.
Oh, I like this question.
Yeah, I like this one too.
Go ahead.
If any of your sellers have died, gone through a bankruptcy,
Yeah.
or in the middle of a divorce,
Yeah.
your strategies on selling your house are a little different. How's that? We can leave it at that.
Well, let's just say one thing. So
Okay,
you
go
have
ahead.
a closing in the pipeline.
Yep.
2 sellers, husband and wife. They're elderly. They're in, they're in nursing homes, but they're in their right state of mind.
Yep.
The house is under contract. The seller, the husband dies.
Yep.
The wife still has to sell the property because she's under contract.
Yep.
But now his probate, his estate may have to be probated. So there's things that could hold up a closing,
Sure.
but they're still in the contract.
Like whether he'll be haunting the house.
Whether she has killed him.
Yeah, right.
Because they didn't understand
They
what a
didn't-
fob
fob
was
was.
while they're downstairs
Of
in the
course, they couldn't
basement.
get in there.
Wading through the water.
Sure.
All right, it's all coming together.
Now this is Rick's favorite, number 3.
Oh,
At
great.
listing stage, the seller should do a title search
I actually have a new part of
and
that.
a plot plan on the property.
Yes.
What's the new part? The
The
smokes.
plot plan. I've
the-
always said you should do a title search of the
Always.
property.
You've
Always.
harped on that. From
Well, you
day
know why?
one.
I know why
Ah.
you've come up with the plot. The
Yes,
title
'cause
search.
lately, yes.
The title search will show any current problems. Like maybe you got a home equity line and you paid it off, and you got another home equity line. The first home equity line may not have been discharged.
Correct.
It's not
Yep.
a huge problem, but if that bank went under or no longer exists, or someone
Sure.
bought them out, you got to go track down that what they call a discharge of mortgage to clean up the title.
Any discharge.
And
like if you have an open wound,
yes,
should disclose that.
yes.
you
get that cleaned up before the closing.
If you got a weepy eye.
We're not gonna. Yeah,
You
25
ever-
is like
you ever a weepy eye.
You don't have to disclose it. You can see it.
Are you going to disclose that weepy eye? Why can't you see for yourself?
This is why we'll never have another
I
guest
know,
on again.
I know.
Which is a good thing.
I'll
No,
be-
that's a good
I'll be
thing.
good
But
from
now-
now.
No, I'm saying that's a good thing because
No.
you get to speak a little bit a little bit more.
But now we've had plot plan.
Yeah.
Now we have plot plan issues.
We've had driveways on our people's property. We've had our people's driveway on the neighbor's property. We've had fence problems. We had
a
swing set.
We had a broker marketing a house that the seller didn't own part of the property.
They had a nice, beautiful place set
It
on
was
someone
very
else's
nice.
yard.
Someone else's property.
And we
but
went on MLS and
wouldn't
looked
that be
at
nice to do that?
Sure.
We
Look
looked
at this
at the-
nice cabana, or look at this nice pool.
It's
or-
like taking a
Why
picture
not?
of your
We
neighbor's
don't own
pool.
it.
And I just put up a picture of Fenway Park.
Right, right.
Yeah. Beautiful property.
Yeah.
Look at my backyard.
What street
Got a
was
short front porch.
on Yaki Way?
Yeah, beautiful.
Order of conditions will show up in a title search.
Oh,
what?
if I have to tell you, I hate order of conditions.
What is
What
that?
is an order of conditions?
It sounds like something that's
typically
bestowed
like
upon you in
a
Britain.
new construction property, or if you. What is it, Tony? Because we are never going to get
Pay
through
attention.
25.
All right. I can't go over these things again and again.
I can't educate and
know,
entertain at the same time.
When gold comes out of my mouth, I expect.
And you can't repeat it.
it's a one-shot deal. It's
done.
timing. It's
gone.
timing.
I'm
Move on,
sorry.
move on.
No.
So an order of conditions typically is issued by the town when you do new construction or put an addition on, and it protects conservation land, and it gives different conditions of the town says you can build this property,
Oh, it's
but
okay to do that.
you can't. You have to have a line of
Yeah, the
trees here.
Conservation Commission will say, yeah, you can do this under the following conditions.
So
Here
there's
they
a
are. Boom,
million
boom, boom.
conditions,
Right.
and typically when you buy the house, with new construction, the town will go out and say, "Oh, you've done everything that we told you to do.
Right.
We'll give you a certificate of
Oh,
compliance."
so you're okay then.
They okay
Right.
it.
Right.
But what we've been seeing is and typically you shouldn't buy the property without it being released.
Before you shouldn't start building, of course.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Well, you shouldn't buy. They may build it under all those
I see,
conditions,
but you
but
have
at
to
the
get it
end of the day, it all has to be satisfied.
I see.
So
Don't we all?
It
But-
seems like when Dave came in from Studio 21 podcast that we love, all of a sudden Tony's being Mr. Serious.
And well, he's paying attention because he wants me to pay attention to his jokes.
I don't care about. I don't care about
Oh, it's a
him.
two-way street, huh?
I was just No.
All right, so you're saying order conditions, and sometimes people don't get those released.
Oh, it drives us
Who releases
crazy.
those?
The town.
What, they give you a medal?
Yeah,
By order of condition, we hereby
Release you.
release you.
they might as well be medals
forth and
because they're like
multiply.
gold.
They have a little parade.
Yeah, sure.
It's very exciting when those are.
But the problem with them is
And
the
then
town.
you know what you hear? Well, it was just about then. The old Duke boys didn't realize that the order of condition had been lifted. Well, imagine the look on old Boss Hog's
Did you
face.
drive your orange Firebird Pontiac to the show today? You're all.
Oh my goodness! What was in that coffee? What was in that box of Joe?
I think I've been roofing. I'm
I think so too.
not going to remember
You
this
had some of
entire
those
show.
marijuana brownies beforehand.
I haven't had any.
Okay, denial.
Legal
denial.
now.
Okay.
Legal now.
All right, what's next here? So we already talked about plot plan. Sellers should go down to the town hall, make sure they don't owe any money in a betterment.
Betterment.
What's a betterment?
What's a betterment?
A betterment? Think about it. This is how I remember it.
Ah.
It makes your property
Better.
better.
Ah.
So it may be a sidewalk
You
betterment,
should write a book.
or it might,
what grade do you feel like you're in?
it's like a sewer betterment or a water
okay.
betterment. They hook
They hook
they
up,
hook
right.
pipes from.
So
So
you
if,
no
they're,
longer-
so if they're bettering your house, maybe there's some money's owed on that, right?
Absolutely, but you
See, I gotta
might
talk
not.
down to this level too. Then she can do it too. Look, he's rubbing his head.
Money's owed to whom?
The
town.
because
Oh,
the
okay.
town's going to put new sidewalks in front of
And
your
they
house.
charge you for that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
There's
you don't have
nothing
a
for free
say
in this town.
You don't have a
Really?
say
There's
in it.
nothing.
They
What town
voted
is
in
this?
What
every
ta-
town.
Any town?
What town is your imaginary town where you don't owe any money? I like that. I'm moving to your town.
I mean, I pay property tax, and I assume it's in there.
But if they had
You-
to dig up,
You would never have a betterment as a sidewalk in Charlestown.
I have a sidewalk. What are you insinuating?
no, Tony, like if something happened to your sewer lines. Oh, should we talk about his sewer lines?
Oh,
please.
no. Ooh.
Let's leave my
How
pipe out
about
of it.
your water pipes?
Oh, my water pipe.
Okay, let's talk about that
My
instead.
water pipe can be a little
that
drippy.
should be a lot more uplifting for the
Yeah.
Tony V house. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
If they for some reason your street needed new piping,
Some
the
hypothetical.
street.
the
not
whole
me.
no, but
Because my water pipe is fine.
the street.
Now it is $35,000 later.
the pipes
No,
running
my
under,
personal water pipe.
right. Well, oh no, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm
It's your
fine.
house's
My
water pipe.
house is hot. Yeah.
But every house is hooked up.
It's a little drippy. Occasionally,
Are we not keeping up? Is that what the problem?
I left you guys about 10 minutes ago.
Are we done yet? Are we done yet?
Please make it stop.
These two are not keeping
Can you
up with me.
Can you unwind him?
I can't.
I unwind them.
I can't go any slower.
But if the pipe,
Oh, that water pipe. Now I get it.
Forget it.
Talking
No, no, no.
about- You're talking about your penis.
oh my, I'm out.
Oh, now I see what you're saying.
I get it. Nod, wink,
Can
wink.
you paint a picture of it? Well, no.
No.
No, no.
Hey, Tony, this isn't going back to discharge. is it?
No, don't get me started, Ed.
Ed,
Please.
you mind your own business.
I love it when we get Ed on board. Yeah.
So like the pipe running
The
out.
pipe running out of your house.
No,
yeah.
no, like the one. on
God
the,
bless
on
the two of you.
street.
Yeah.
And you keep trying.
Will you
back.
shut up? Can I say shut up on the air?
You just did.
The pipe running on the street that hooks
This
all
isn't
the
radio.
houses.
We can't delete any of this.
Yeah.
None of this is edited,
It's
you know.
live.
Go ahead.
It's live.
It's live. Go ahead.
So you own the pipe from your side, from under your house.
Well, no, the town owns it,
that,
but
right.
all the pipes that go from that big town pipe
Yeah.
Go to your house.
Right.
If they had to replace that piping, the main,
Yeah.
they would replace it.
But charge you.
Yes, every street, every house that's affected by that
Really?
pipe.
So
Yep.
here's the point of all this. If you're about to sell your house,
Then why am I paying property tax?
Because I don't know.
that's
Call-
a show
call-
for
call
another
the city.
time.
Call
That's a
the
show
city.
for another time.
Okay.
We're
Well,
gonna
if I would stop interrupting you, we could get through some of this.
Well, you should just ask if there are any betterments that are
Betterments.
coming up
Right.
or currently on the property.
All right, another thing is if you went and improved your house,
Yep.
you'd have to get a permit.
The fact that I live there's an improvement.
We are the improvement.
Behold the improvement.
You might have to get those permits pulled out,
Yep.
closed out.
Right.
Okay, so that's just another thought before you get to the closing table.
Right.
All right.
Right.
You
Well,
took
see,
you
no,
took
for
that
instance,
well.
I have a real one. No, because I live in a.
I'm actually
He has
sweating.
a real one.
I have a real one. I live in a historic district.
Yeah.
You know,
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
The Bunker Hill
Yeah,
Monument.
of course
at the
it's
top of my
historic.
street. And I went to replace windows, and they had a
Oh.
historical
Oh, yeah.
window
Oh
replacement.
God! How long did that take you?
So they gave me the money to put my windows in if they looked a certain way.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
So they're basically buying your
My
buying
window,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because me, I would put in, like bulletproof glass with
Right.
shutters in it.
Right.
But
right,
they
right.
want all the
But they
decorative
want it to
Victorian
look,
looking, or they want a certain look.
certain pane numbers. They don't want extra panes or
Right.
one big pane.
because they want that whole
The whole
brownstone
they
area
want-
to look
right,
the same.
Right. They want Italian people coming in August going, "Oh, Bella, it looks so nice. Look how pretty." I don't know if you know this.
You know who you remind me about?
Frank Caliendo.
There you go.
I could be Frank Caliendo.
He's sitting right beside us.
I could be Frank
I knew
Caliendo.
Tony V couldn't make it today.
That's how
You're
good I am.
unbelievable,
No,
and
today
I
I'm-
knew that right away.
Today I'm showcasing my repertoire of voices.
Yeah. No, I like your other one.
Well,
Yeah, that one.
it was just about then the show came to a close. Before they had got to say anything of
Before
any
the hook
importance.
came out and dragged him off his seat.
Try as they might, they really couldn't get any information across, and never had another guest as long as they lived.
What's the music? You got the music?
I bet you we could get music there. So you got to get the permits closed out.
Right.
Is that what you say?
Yeah.
That's usually when we're about to go off the air, but we're not going off the air today. We're just going to keep going. I'm telling you right now. This is the extended version, all
Welcome
right?
to the 24-hour version of Real
isn't
Estate
it
Trying to
House
raise
Party.
money.
Yes.
Marathon.
Please call 781-944-9222 with your pledge.
And we'll only take credit cards
Right.
over the phone.
I'll pledge it.
Keep us on the air another 10 minutes.
All right, we're not going to make it through 25.
No, we are. Keep firing
we're
away.
not.
You don't think we're going to make it?
Oh, no, you know what? This is another very important one. If we're going to, let's pull out the important ones.
Oh, the others weren't important?
Well, they are, but
All right, go ahead.
smoke detector. Say, oh, I'm just buying it from my
Now,
mother.
remember, that's might be just Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
And
I'm
you know
buying
this.
it-
You know this is nationwide.
This is
podcast.
why we can't.
Oh, I'm the interrupter.
But I
Look at
bet
this
there
guy
are,
over here.
I bet there are other. I bet there are other states that have the smoke
And
detector.
somehow I'm identified as the problem.
Go ahead. You have the
Some
floor.
states have
Sometimes.
sometimes
The state of confusion, the state of boredom.
some states have a requirement or a law that
Yeah.
you need to have working smoke detectors. Not New Hampshire; they don't really care about
Free or
anything.
die.
You know, why don't we just put smoke detectors on ourselves?
I like that.
You know what I mean? That way, wherever we are, we're not in danger of catching on fire.
Right.
And then you wouldn't have to wire the house.
You know, we've made some changes in the smoke detector industry.
Yeah.
I think we started on our radio show where
Yeah.
we want it personalized.
Yeah.
Would it actually be your voice?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Am I
Yeah.
right? Because I think they are doing that now.
because
That's brilliant. You could put it in a fob.
It's fun, right? And then you could boop it on and off whenever you want.
I
Well,
like
right,
it.
because now they have the fire detectors with the voice,
Yeah.
with that very calming fire detected. Kindly leave the residence.
I think
I
you're
don't-
burning your dinner.
right.
So
I
calm.
think it should, it should be like, get the hell out of the house. There's a fire. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm telling you, there's a fire, and you're standing there.
Could you do it in your hee-haw voice?
Well, it was just about then the old Duke boys didn't realize, but the house was engulfed in flames. Well, imagine the look on Enos's
And
face.
by the time you got to the point, the place would be leveled.
Oh my God! All
All
right,
right.
How many are we going to get through?
That's
done.
it.
It's
That's number
33
10.
minutes.
All right, we're going to have to do a part 2. I am
Really?
shocked.
Can I come?
maybe.
Oh, God. All right. Who do we have to thank today?
Nobody.
We're going to thank
but
our studio
ourselves.
lot. Oh, God. The fabulous Ed Sullivan somehow makes this into a show. We've got to thank him, doesn't he?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
you're
know.
right.
He had violin music today.
I don't
That
know
is
about
unbelievable.
this show.
Oh,
though.
no,
We
this
haven't-
thing's being
yeah,
deleted.
This is yet to be
Yeah.
seen.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a perfectly fine show. I don't know what show you two were listening to.
Thanks for joining us on the Real Estate House Party. Kathy Holtshouser, paralegal extraordinaire. Tony V, man of many voices.
Could be Frank
Could be
Caliendo.
Frank.
You don't know.
This is attorney Rick Carter and Ed Sullivan.
Are you Frank?
Thanks for joining us. Thank you, studio audience. Thank you for all the emails and phone calls we've been getting. Thank
All
you
the
for,
cards and the
thank you
flowers
for all
and
our
the
guests today that we
cookies.
had to shun away because this is we got a lot of material to get over through today. Tony V
We did
and
a
Kathy
lot.
Holtshouser. Thanks for joining us. Next week, I think we have Christine Hurley.
Oh!
And then we have John Tanulo. And then I think we have Brad Mastrangelo.
Oh, beautiful.
All right?
Yeah, that'll keep us on track.
See you next week here at the Real Estate House Party.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.